So NIO stock has been down the past couple of days, and it has pretty much nothing to do with NIO. It's mostly to do with the whole entire BS that's happening here in China. There's three main BS's that's happening here in China, and you got to know all about it. And there's three big BS's that's happening here in China, and they're all hurting investor sentiment. And this is pretty damn crazy, guys. So first one is, of course, Evergrande's boss got arrested in Beijing, and he got put in jail. A lot of people are saying finally he got put in jail. Why did it take so long for the government to put him in jail? Well, they gave him 2 years extra time to basically get things back in order and deliver homes to those rotten end homes, those customers that paid for the homes and never got them delivered. But instead, he focused on applying for bankruptcy in the U.S., to protect his own personal assets, setting up a trust fund for his kid, all that kind of BS with absolutely no intention of actually helping out the ordinary citizens that put their hard-earned money buying a home that's not even finished building. Now, to give you guys a context about how effing insane this is, there is this one Evergrande project that started 6 years ago, and all they built was a gate. They had a big gate for the project, and they've built nothing since. And 85% of the homes are sold. 85%. Take a look at the picture. Do you see any buildings? They haven't even started construction of the thing. And they probably never will. So you got people that paid for homes that are pretty much empty air. They're taking mortgages from the bank. The bank has already paid Evergrande and all those developers. And the citizens, they got to pay back monthly mortgage payments on a home that is basically air. It doesn't even exist. There's homeowners that went to that place quite recently and just did not even find a single brick, and they're paying mortgage for that house that doesn't exist. I mean, like, how crazy is that? That's not like one off. There's millions of people just like him affected by this whole Evergrande BS. So he's going in jail, but somehow, apparently, according to a lot of the media here and also a lot of other economists, the boss of Evergrande is trying to shift the blame to the government and the banks, let them carry the burden, as if like, why did you even get the money approved and that kind of stuff. But right now it's the ordinary citizens, ordinary civilians that are just absolutely screwed. They don't even have a home. They're paying mortgage for basically thin air. They carry a lot of debt. At the same time, they got to rent a place and pay rent on that as well. So they're just financially in a lot of trouble. Quite bad situation, all right? And then quite recently, Country Garden also said that we don't have enough money to basically pay all our fines or payments that they need to be paid. They can choose either between delivering the homes to the customers, which I guess a lot of the homeowners definitely want, or pay the money to the other companies that they owe money to. So it's one or the other. So Country Garden is also in a very shitty spot. So that in general is just not good, all right? But then also, point number 2 is this whole entire BS has caused Hong Kong stock market to just crash even further. The S&P Hong Kong index is at 23 now. 23. Last time we talked about it, it was at 25. I mean, it dropped even further. There seems to be no bottom in sight. If you invested $1 million back in its heyday at its all-time high, right now you'd be at 15,000 US dollars. A lot of people are just going, what the hell, man? What the hell's going on, man? Quite a disastrous situation. And the trading volume in Hong Kong is just, going down and down and down. And the fact of the matter is a lot of people and money are fleeing Hong Kong. But we've seen a recent resurgence during the national holiday that's happening right now. They're incentivizing tourism, and tourism is happening. Lots of tourists go into Hong Kong, so that's pretty nice. But there seems to be no bottom in sight, and that's not helping with investor sentiment overall. And the third thing that happened, and this created mass panic, and that is, of course, gold prices dropping, crashing. Gold prices in China used to we talked about this. They had a big divergence. The Chinese gold price here in China was actually higher than the gold price in the US, about 10% difference. But then all of a sudden, the sentiment shifted and people were saying that, oh, the US is going to continue raising interest rates. The gold prices collapsed, and so did the gold prices here in China collapse as well. People were rushing in to sell their gold. It was absolutely crazy. Even my wife's best friend, she was talking about it in the car, video call, and it was pretty crazy, man. So it's pretty crazy. There's a rush to the exit with gold right now, and people are thinking, oh my god, like I better sell now or else it might get even lower. Lots of panic. So all these BS combined, I mean, like, is not helping with investor sentiment towards Chinese stocks. I mean, like, the investor sentiment for NIO stock is already quite low, so that would be a bullish signal. I mean, when everybody's pessimistic, that's when all the selling is probably priced in. And that might mean a bottom. And if you look at around $8.50-ish, I mean, NIO stock is pretty much quite low. All right. Hopefully we get past all this BS very soon. Evergrande's boss apparently collapsed in the hospital and shit. I mean, like, dude, I just hope that there's a happy ending for everybody, man. Especially the guys that bought homes that are just basically thin air. Yeah, I hope they get their homes delivered. But it doesn't seem like that will happen. But hey, it could all be a contrarian signal. All this BS probably means that the bottom is in or the bottom is near. Not financial advice, as always. So a subscriber asked me what gaps can we still see down low. I mean, NIO just formed this gap over here. That probably will have to get filled up eventually. And we could also be looking at a head and shoulders pattern right here. This being the left shoulder, the head, and then the right shoulder. So this is what that could look like. This is essentially the left shoulder. This is the head all the way up here. And then here we might have the right shoulder. So that's something that we could look out for. Potentially, if that is indeed the case, then if we break above that, then we are headed much, much higher. That's pretty cool. But back to the original question, what gaps do we have down low? You really do not want to know the answer to that. Of course, this gap, it was already filled back at around 8. And then right after that, we had a good rebound. But then we also have this gap down here at around $5-ish, 480. Let's call it 480. So let's hope that we don't get there. But that could be the worst case scenario. And guys, if it does drop further down to 5, this is a blessing in disguise. I would buy a shit ton of NIO stock down here. When it's on discount, do you sell or do you buy? Well, I'm buying, not financial advice, but boom, if it goes down there, buy. But now you know what's happening here in China. Subscribe, hit the bell. See you in the next one. Peace out.